Hey, I got it. I got it. Woohoo! Hello, everyone, and welcome to the table. So, I was browsing Blade HQ, and I found something kind of unique, kind of different from the rest. So, I decided to pick one up, share my thoughts about it with all of you out there. So, this right here comes to us from Excalibur Outdoors, and this is called the STAG friction folder. So, of course, a friction folder, meaning this is not a locking knife, but you're going to notice it has a very unique look and a very unique build. And I think we can talk about why that is as well. But of course, the name comes from our little STAG logo they've put into the handle there. So the STAG right here, again, this is made in the USA. This is domestically produced, and it is made, according to Blade HQ, by the way, by Ron Hardman. So I'm guessing he's a custom maker. And these are, again, made in the USA. And Ron Hardman, from what it says, he was one of the champions on Forged in Fire. And now I've seen that show before, maybe not the particular episode this gentleman was in, but nonetheless, he's brought a knife to the market, and it's hit the $49.99 price point for a US-made knife, and something that's actually, quite handmade in my opinion. And so we're kind of getting an interesting look at a knife maker stepping into this production world, but at a small, affordable cost. You know, they can step in. They're not, going out to a Chinese manufacturer or probably even going out of house. This is probably all done in house, I would guess. Because there's definitely some speculation going on in my head right here. But let's check out the actual knife first. So again, this is a friction folder, so it does not lock. It uses the friction of the knife in the handle to keep the blade open. And that's how it functions. So you just push it closed like that. And you have the exposed tang right here, which helps you lever the blade open. So in this full open position, our blade length right here, this is 2.5 inches long. So 2.5 inch blade. Overall length is about 6 3/4. So it's not a big knife. It's pretty small, and it's very lightweight also because these scales are plastic, and they're not just any plastic. If you look close, you might recognize this type of material, especially if you're in the 3D printed world at all. So these are actually 3D printed scales, which again brings up some questions. Why? Because again, this is the first knife I've ever seen, at least a production knife that you buy, that has 3D printed scales for sale. Usually you use 3D printing to like prototype things, to test things out, but this is actually designed for the public this way. And I'm guessing it's totally a cost thing because it's going to be very inexpensive to manufacture these and get them out the door for a US made knife for $49.99. Because again, these blades here, these blades are not being stamped out by a CNC over in China. These look like they are handmade, hand sharpened, and manually put into these handles and built out. So in a way, you're getting your hands on a custom built knife for a very low price with, again, lower end materials as a result. So what do we have here? So this blade right here, 2.5 inches long, we can see the made in USA markings, and you can see the markings for Excalibur Outdoors. Let me try and catch that right in the light. There we go, Excalibur Outdoors. And so I suppose that's the brand name. And of course, it's called the STAG. Came in a few different color options as well. And this is just the one I happened to choose, blue and black. They also have a really cool blue and orange coloration as well, which looks pretty awesome in my opinion. And so fully 3D printed scales. And this blade is listed as a carbon steel. And so carbon steel, it doesn't exactly say what kind of carbon steel. So I'm going to guess it's probably something fairly ubiquitous, something very affordable. So maybe like a 1095. But either way, being a carbon steel, it's going to show, staining and rust and get that nice little patina finish on it as you actually use the knife. And looking at the bevels on the edge, it's very much hand sharpened. You can see it's kind of uneven there, has some variance to it. So the one you get may be definitely a bit different than this one I have in hand. And so straight out of the package, and I don't even say straight out of the box because they come in a plastic baggie, like we see right here. So straight out of the package, I actually had to strop the blade edge because there was a burr on it. So I had to kind of just strop it on leather, and that fixed most of it. Now near the tip, there is a little bit of bluntness there. So eventually I'm going to have to sharpen it. But after stropping the edge, it does have kind of a working edge on it, and it's a small blade. So, it is what it is. So you can see it's definitely sharp enough to cut paper now, straight out of the box, after doing a little bit of stropping to it. And so one more thing you'll notice on this handle is that we do have a built-in pocket clip. So it's going to be a tip down pocket clip, which is really the way you should do it for a friction folding knife. There's a screw right there that is going to be holding the blade in the handle, and we do have the pocket clip printed right on there. So time will tell. Now this type of plastic, it's called ASA. Don't ask me to say what that all means. It's a long name. But I'm assuming that's going to be one of the more durable plastics. And if I'm wrong, please do correct me in the comments. Is ASA a durable plastic for this kind of application? But I will say putting it in pocket, it works perfectly fine. You can see there's a little bit of a gap right there. So if you're wearing like thicker pants, it doesn't have any problem like going on your jeans or anything like that. So that's kind of cool. But the fact that it has a pocket clip at all is actually quite nice. And for a few reasons, because a friction folder, it's all about the friction, as the name intends, because if the knife is too loosey-goosey, it's going to be dangerous to use and carry, right? It has to have kind of a tightness to it. And so this one's kind of interesting. And so it is advertised as having a magnet here embedded in the handle, which I'm going to assume helps keep the blade in the handle in a closed position. I'm not sure if I've really noticed that, but if we do open it, like I have a little magnet right here, like you can see, like there is definitely, there's definitely a magnet in there. So I'm going to assume that definitely is going to help with retention in your handle. And I'm not sure if it's really working because you're not getting a lot of metal going near that magnet. You know, it doesn't quite suck it in or anything. And in fact, the entire length of travel of this blade, the loosest part of travel is right as you pull it out from here to about there. It's kind of loose. Not super loose. I mean, if you hold it vertically, it doesn't just flop. But if you do that, it'll come out, you know. But what's interesting too, again, once you start opening it, you get it to about that point and it tightens up. So as you open it now, it's really tight, and getting it into this final position, now it feels locked up really tight, even though it's still just friction, just the way the handle, I'm assuming, was printed and made, it has a tighter fit on the blade now. So in this full open position, which feels pretty good, by the way, to be honest, it has a nice little ridge here for your thumb. Nice little finger grooves there. Feels pretty good. This feels solid. I don't feel this is going to fold on my hands, and it physically cannot when my thumb is over the tang. So it feels very safe in hand. My only concern is when you close it, right past this point right here, it gets looser, right in this area of travel. So I'm assuming that magnet is going to be in there to really help with keeping it in as a last resort. But it's cool that they embedded that into the handle as it was being printed. Some pretty cool wizardry there. And so the thing is too, it's not entirely dangerous having it loosey-goosey right here, because if you're carrying this in your pocket, assuming you're doing right-hand side carry, I would not carry this left-handed, but it's going to sit in your pocket like this, and your seam of your pants is going to be against the blade in your pocket. So there's no way that this blade can come open as you're walking around with it in your pocket, you know, so there is that safety factor there as well. And the little protruding tang here makes it easy when it's in pocket to just pull it out of your pants and get it to work. So again, you've seen it like this. You can see about that far. The blade has some resistance now, but this first few inches is a little looser. And when it does close, you can hear it hitting the inside of that plastic handle, which again might not contribute well to the long-term sharpness of the blade. And I'm thinking that might be why the extreme edge of the tip right here does have a little bit of blunting on there, because I'm sure in transit, when this thing was being shipped, it was probably jarring, you know, back and forth for quite a bit. So very cool. And now we do have a bottle opener here on the end, and this one's kind of looking wonky because if you look at the product photos of this knife on Blade HQ, you can tell it's handmade because they're all going to be a little bit different. And this one is kind of like it's missing the end right here. So not sure what happened. Maybe someone got too overzealous on the grinder. I don't know. But I do have a beverage of choice right here. So I'm going to see if we can actually use this to open the bottle, if there's still enough bite in there to do it. I'm assuming you can open a bottle with almost anything. So I'm going to see how easy it is to do it. So let's try that. You can feel free to critique my bottle opening ability. Yeah, so as a bottle opener, this one has completely, failed me. So I would say if you get another different model, it's not going to be as bad as this one is. So that's kind of sad. I was really hoping to have a drink here on camera, but I guess I'm not getting one today. So sorry, beverage, I'll drink you later. But yeah, so that being said, if you do buy this, it's probably going to be better than this one that I have in hand. So, but should you buy it? Really? I bought this as kind of an experiment. I thought it would be fun to share. $49.99 for a US made knife, not coming from a major company. This is coming from probably, I assume, a one man shop, you know? And that alone gives you reason why you should probably pick one up. Because I'm all about supporting smaller knife makers because this is step number one. If this does well, you know, a knife maker upgrades materials, upgrades equipment, and soon enough, there'll be awesome, full production, made in the USA knives. And this is step one. And the fact that we have awesome technology like 3D printing allows someone to do this and produce this for sale, I think that's pretty awesome. Because, you know, friction folders are always a great first step into the knife making world because mechanically speaking, they are relatively simple. So while the knife itself may not be the highest quality or perform the best, it's a great example of why you should support American because of little things like this. So if you have any questions or comments below, please drop those. But I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you for sharing this with me. I think I'm going to go open my drink now. But I hope you all have a nice day.